Hey guys, I'm meteorologist Chris Tomer. Let's talk some mountain weather. This is the On the Snow Before You Go forecast, and there's a lot to talk about. Of course, we've got the nor'easter, and then potentially one or two storm systems even after that for the Northeast, and there's not a lot going on across the West. First of all, let's do the spider chart. You can quickly see where some of the best snow is going to be, or the best odds over the next 5 days. It's up in the Northeast. It's up around the central and northern mountains of Colorado as a couple of cold fronts are going to sneak through the eastern periphery of this large dome of high pressure that is going to stay anchored across the west for quite a while. Steamboat would be on the list. It's the Eldora, Loveland, Keystone, A Basin, Winter Park, all those areas I would look to in Colorado. And I'll show you when, maybe even the Tetons as well for a short period, but we're not talking big snow here. I mean, we're not talking major snow. These are little cold fronts that are going to sneak through. And then Montana, parts of Idaho, we'll look at that and then look at certainly the Pacific Northwest, British Columbia, and the Banff areas are high on my list over the next 5 to 7 days. So let's go to radar. Here's the big storm. You can see it on radar moving across the mid-Atlantic, deep south, eastern seaboard. So this is all going to be moving up into the northeast, and that's what's going to develop into this nor'easter with strong winds and very cold air, low wind chills well below zero. But you can see what it's doing right now up in Killington. There's nothing going on. It's just a waiting game right now for this thing, and it looks like everybody's having a good time. I think Killington gets 1 to 2 feet out of this, and then there's an Alberta Clipper that comes this week, and then potentially another strong storm system for next weekend. Let me show you what the pattern is, and here's water vapor. So when you see this, the reds and oranges would be drier air aloft. And then the whites, the blues would be where your moisture is. So this flow with the jet is basically doing this number right now. And then it's forming this big trough supporting our storm system, and it's going to roll it right up into the northeast. So that's kind of the jet pattern right now. There's even a little bit of energy coming out of the southern branch as well. But let me mark this. So we've got our storm system right here. We've got some additional energy coming up over the top out of British Columbia. But this storm track is going to be where all the action is. Some of these little storms are going to come up and over the top like this. Some will drop down into the trough over the next 5 to 7 days. But this is where the action is going to be up here into the northeast. Even though there's a little low spinning right here off the west coast, there's nothing to it. It's just a spin. There's no real big moisture. I mean, overall across the west, all it is this high pressure dome that's basically sitting up over the top, and everything that tries to move into this high is basically just being nailed, it dissipating as it moves in. Let me just show you one interpretation of this. This is the GFS model, American model. Let me move this into the future. You can see the big storm in the deep south. So a lot of this turns over to snow by the time we get into Monday morning. This is Monday morning. Look how quickly that low slides up through West Virginia. Virginia, Snowshoe would be a place. Pennsylvania is going to get snow. Ohio, eastern Ohio. And then into New York State, all the ski areas should get snow. And there's probably going to be somewhat of a lake effect snow, some lake effect to this as it slides by. You can see how strong the winds are going to be. Look at that on the north. Those winds take over and bring some of that moisture in. Look at that incredible wind up in the northeast, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. All right, so there's Monday morning. Here's Tuesday morning. It's gone. Very cold, north wind. You can see a little bit of lake effect running in behind that storm system. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, obviously going to be good powder days for the Northeast. Let's look at the West. There's a little front that tries to drop down. You can see it through Montana, Wyoming. Between basically Tuesday and Wednesday, it kind of washes out as it hits that high. There's not a lot to it. All right, let me take you into Thursday morning. There's a little bit of snow that kind of creeps through Wyoming into the central and northern mountains of Colorado, but it is not big. It is minor. So this is Thursday morning. Another storm in the Pacific Northwest. This one has a little bit more to it. All right, so here is the night of the 20th into the 21st. There's more snow sliding through Montana, Wyoming, and a little bit of it clips the Wasatch and the central and northern mountains of Colorado. So this is Friday morning right here. And there's Friday morning, and then moving into Saturday morning, it's out of there. So it's brief, it's probably minor, and then that storm moves into the northeast and could be potentially become a larger storm. You can kind of see there's two areas of energy, one off the eastern seaboard, another one coming in from the north. There it is. So the timing on this, I've seen it occur as early as Saturday, Sunday, and as late as Sunday, Monday. So we'll have to watch next weekend for the northeast because that could be a big one. Across the west, when does this pattern change? It really doesn't. It's these small cold fronts. You can see another one right there on the 25th, 26th. And really have to wait till the end of the month. I mean, we're looking at the end of January right here, and there's just nothing there. All right, let's look at my snow totals here. And we're going to do this in two phases. We'll start across the west all of today through the 20th. And you can see there are some amounts in the central and northern mountains of Colorado, northern New Mexico, as these cold fronts kind of sneak through. On the eastern periphery, there's a little bit of snow up there in Wyoming, Montana, and some up in the Pacific Northwest in BC. That's phase one. Phase two, the 21st through the 25th, you can see the numbers. These are meager. I mean, we're just not talking about a lot of snow. These are small cold fronts that just sneak through. And there is some additional snow there, but again, we're not talking about a lot, and I basically have nothing in my forecast for California. So let's look at the Northeast. Now, this would be a grand total map all of today through the 23rd. So this is optimistic. I'm taking into account not only our nor'easter, but one Alberta Clipper and potentially a storm system for next weekend that looks substantial. So we're talking like a couple of feet, potentially over 2 feet, closing in on 3 feet Mount Washington. So, I mean, we've got some great powder days ahead. Monday, Tuesday, potentially with the Clipper, and then another good powder days for next weekend across the Northeast. Let me show you my plume here for Killington. So you've got the big acceleration of snow numbers with the nor'easter. You've got a little Clipper, 1920, and then potentially another storm system, 21, 22, and 23. So there you go. This has been the On the Snow Before You Go forecast. Enjoy it. Take advantage of these storms that are hitting the Northeast, and stay safe. Thank you for tuning in here.